I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail heroic. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Dare to make war, we surrender. False word, important things are giving you people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5 Qapla, and welcome to BedLife for August 20th, 2021. On this day in 1940, I believe, the great Winston Churchill himself uttered the famous words on a radio address to the UK while they were in the middle of the Battle of Britain, which of course wasn't a land battle, but a battle in the skies, the first such major battle for a major country, a major city. The Germans, and it extended for months. The Germans kept trying to come in and bomb London, and they were somewhat successful, but they would have been totally successful if not for being stopped every single time by the courageous pilots of the Royal Air Force, most of whom was, of course, British citizens, but which included some Americans and other country pilots from other countries who knew well before the United States joined World War II that the bad guys in Germany had to be stopped, and the sooner they were stopped, the better it would be for everybody. And they, so much to the point that they signed up for the British Air Force, even though they were American citizens or Canadian citizens or Australian citizens or Indian citizens or wherever. They signed up for the British Air Force so they could fly the planes and fight the bad people in the skies over London. And they did it spectacularly. And Winston Churchill, the man that my boss, Sidney E. Frank, noted billionaire and world-class philanthropist, looked up to, Winston Churchill came on the airwaves on this day, and he said, never before in human, what is it? Let's get it right. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. It sends chills down my back how in just a few words he could sum up what entire college courses could spend semesters trying to teach and not summarize it so well and so eloquently. Never before in human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. The people who lived through those bombings heard those words over and over and over again. And I'm sure they understood it. They understood when they were huddled in the subways of London, hearing the explosions, feeling the shaking, wondering, did that bomb hit my house, my neighborhood? Am I going to have anything to go back up to? Are we even going to survive? Are we going to survive in this tunnel tonight? Are we going to survive the night in this tunnel? Or the day, whatever. They understood that. We, the better part of a century later, many generations removed from ever having to huddle in our subways for fear of the enemy dropping bombs on top of us. Thankfully, we can hear these words. We can listen to these words. We can read these words. We can even listen to the original broadcast, that was copied over the years onto various different media. But I don't think we can ever truly appreciate what these words mean. And if we did, and if we could, we would be looking at what's happening in the world right now in places like Afghanistan with far more emotion than we're doing right now. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong or it's good or it's bad, because it's certainly not good to make, to feel these things. World war is not good. I'm just saying there was a time on this planet not that long ago when this type of thing was happening in our cities, Western cities, okay? And maybe something is happening to them again. Not from bad guys flying airplanes, but from bad guys doing other things. Anyway, it put me in a mood to reminisce. Reminisce about the olden days, my good old days. And we will in a little bit. Let me read some of the chats before I get way too far behind. And I do apologize for the late start. I napped. I had to nap. For those of you who don't know, I did stream on Berto Pray 5X at 5 a.m. this morning. I'd already been up since 3:45 a.m. I streamed for a couple of hours on Berto Pray 5X. and then I went over to Captain Trek's stream for a while, and I was dead tired on his stream, and he didn't stream very long. And then I tried to get some sleep, and I ended up getting myself sick, and I only finally got some sleep about 2:30. I got an hour or so, an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. But trust me, it helped. So I had to rush to get ready for 4 p.m. And of course, I was, 5 minutes late, 6 minutes late. So but being I set it for 4:05, it wasn't terrible. But I didn't get a chance to go ahead and do the things I normally set up before we started. And Mike McMahon with a $1.49 donation. I apologize, Mike McMahon, if it's really you. But I do, for whoever sent the donation in Mike McMahon's name. Thank you for the 700 emails today, but I'm sorry to inform you we have no plans to make a K-less sex helmet for sale. Mike, I suggest you bring those emails to your superiors. I am telling you, Mike McMahon, the Klingon, the K-less's fortification helmet will be a big seller. Bring it to Eagle Moss, or bring it to Playmobil, or whoever you can, Lego, I don't care. However we got to get it. Somebody's got to create the K-less's fortification helmet. And, put a price tag on it, $200, $300, $400, $500, whatever it is. I'll start a GoFundMe for it. I need to get my hands on a K-less's fortification helmet, officially licensed, not some 3D printed piece of crap. I'm sorry to say, but I've yet to see anything 3D printed that could withstand, the kinds of things that K-less's fortification helmet would do. For all the quality that a good 3D printer can do, like my 3D printed Rocinante and the 3D printed Orville ships that were out there for a while. Some beautiful ships, some beautiful things, but they're just not designed to withstand, the passion, the physical passion that K-less and K-less's lovers would apply to a helmet. So it needs to be made out of basically pure titanium. Okay. The chat. Wouldn't it be nice if I had the chat ready to read? Okay. And pop out the chat. And that means I'm going to lose a good part of the chat because, damn it, I started it so early. But we'll go to the other screen and get the old chat. Okay, so the chat starts at 4:05 p.m. So let's see, where does the chat start on this page? The chat starts at 12:15 p.m. Okay, not Ryan Johnson was first in the chat. Says hello in Qapla. Hail Karoga. 47 Yorktown says greetings from Eastern Canada. Greetings, 47 Yorktown. Kronos yells first, son of a bitch. And Kronos says, Bird of Prey, can't you just start the freaking stream now? That was at 1:46 p.m. Kronos, I wish I could have. I was shaking and having all types of shit go on at that time. It was not a good afternoon. Actually, at 1:47, I was actually just about to fall asleep. I thought there was 11. Never mind. 11:47 would have been really bad. 1:47, I was just out of it. I was about to sleep. Kronos' Bird of Prey. What can I do in over 2 hours to kill the time? I know, Kronos. Well, hopefully you were watching Cinnabon Bunny stream on Twitch. I got to it late, but he was streaming on Twitch. He streamed a prison simulator and then Deer Simulator with Officer Sassy. Was some good stuff. Make sure, I know you have Twitch issues, Kronos, but go get your Twitch working. Get your Twitch working, and you could be watching Cinnabon Bunny fill in the day. Because I'll be honest, I kept checking YouTube, and there was nobody fucking streaming, and I was like, fucking YouTube. I'm in a place with YouTube's recommendations where they all fucking suck. And no offense to Anti-Trekker or Salty Trekker, but like one of my 4 recommendations all day has been his goddamn Life with Matthew movie night stream tonight, which I applaud, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to be awake to see it. So why is it got to take up one of 4 places? Now, I don't have the heart to tell YouTube to not show this because, I don't know, I don't want to throw Anti-Trekker under the bus, but I only have 3 other recommendation spots. So I really don't know what to do. For now, it's every fucking time it shows it. Like, if I refresh the page 2 or 3 times, it should show me different recommendations. Every single time it's showing it to me. And it's like, well, I don't know if I should. I honestly considered not unsubbing, but turning off notifications for his stream today, just because I wanted to see, God forbid it was blocking somebody else from actually was streaming live. But I couldn't find anybody. And I stayed subscribed with all notifications. But YouTube has been really sucking with the notifications today. I watched one fucking video from Ricada Law, and now I get all his fucking recommendations. Listen, I don't mind Ricada Law, but Viva Fry is my YouTube lawyer. I don't want to see any other fucking YouTube lawyers but Viva Fry, who's often with Barnes. They do streams together, and Viva does streams on his own and videos on his own. He is the pinnacle of YouTube lawyers. Best combination of fun and truth out there. He blows away that hack, and this is personal opinion, not a legal opinion, as I'm not a lawyer and not able to determine legal opinions. So don't sue me, bro. That hack Legal Eagle that's out there. And Viva Fry, who does streams with Barnes as well. But Viva Fry puts his money where his mouth is and is actually running for office in Quebec, Canada, where he lives, because he's so fucking tired of the shit he's been through this past year and a half, that when a citizen gets to the point that his government has failed him, it is in fact that citizen's responsibility to do something to fix that government. And the first step is to try and get elected to office to fix it from within. Okay. And I think more Americans, and he's a Canadian, but he has an American spirit. More Americans should think that way. And if I could physically hold office, I would be running for something, even if I knew I was going to lose. I would be running for something. I physically wouldn't be able to hold office in my current condition. So that's honestly, why I'm not. But otherwise, I would be, because we have got to the point that I would not be able to look at myself in the face and say, well, why didn't I try and do something when I could? And now's that time. Now's that time. We should all be looking at our friends, our neighbors, and saying, "Hey, you're smarter than whoever's in office right now. You should be running for mayor or governor or just Congress, and start building from there. Because if we don't, then we've got to go. We've got to go all Declaration of Independence one day, and it's scary. It's scary because it's true, and it makes sense. But I suggest, instead of jumping to the point where we go to saying that when a government fails to protect its people, that it's the right of the government, of the people, to alter or abolish said government, that we instead take up Lincoln, who said, at least on his watch, that a government of the people and for the people shall not perish from this earth. And it is at risk, whether it's this country or any Western democracy. That government is preciously close to perishing from this earth, and we need to step up. We need to step up and stop that from happening, because it will be a lot less bloody. And you might think you want bloody. You might think you want voting from the rooftops, but you don't. You really don't. If you honestly think about it, nobody really wants that. It might be fun in video games, but it will be no fun IRL. Kronos' bird of prey. What can I do in over 2 hours to kill the time? Kronos, maybe you should be running for office. John Iraqi says, son of a bitch. When the bed breaks, auntie. When the fans unsub, bird. When the female cardiologist visits. I get it. He is speaking like a Temerian. John Araki says, lol, one of the 2 Jeopardy hosts already got canceled. Oh, did they? Did the executive producer of Jeopardy get canceled? I'll be honest. I will shed no tear. Like Hillary Clinton when the votes were counted. I will shed no tear. Now, granted, she did, but I meant me. Me watching Hillary Clinton when the votes were counted. Speaking to Marion, it's not all that hard. John, not Ryan Johnson says, no hating to Kronos. We're going to jump ahead because we are so far behind. We're going to just read the at Brutal Prey 5 messages and selected Kronos's. Kronos says some Vulcans live in Karoga have issues. And wow, and Aussie already upvoted. Oh, don't worry about that, Kronos. Wesley Crushers says, Bird of Prey, greetings, birds, turds, and people who have no idea how fun this channel is. Thank you, Wes. That was at 2:59 p.m. This is 30 minutes after me delivering, I assume, a very depressing opening monologue. And Kronos puts in a link to a GIF, a Karogan aviation at its best. I've got to look at, even though I don't have the time. Oh, it's the nuke. It's an explosion going off. Wesley Crusher says, Bird of Prey, is it Dear Bop Day? It is Dear Bop Day. Wes, he forgot to write his weekly 50 letters. That's fine, Wes. Don't worry about it. The fewer Dear Bops, the better. Wesley says, a bop is when bird crashes into a mountain. And Kronos says, rip to the mountains. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, you are late. I know, that was at 3:02 p.m. But that wasn't late. That was still an hour and 3 minutes before I was late. Kronos says, all children in Star Trek are spoiled brats. Yeah, they pretty much are. Although Jake, I don't know, was spoiled. His mother died. He was moved from posting to posting with his father. Wound up on this godforsaken space station. His only friend was Nog for a long time. Maybe not Jake. But yeah, Charlie X for sure. Well, Kronos is saying Jake. Wesley, that Naomi Wildman, even though she had no parents, she had Neelix. She had to deal with Neelix. Her parent figures were Neelix and 7 of 9. Wesley says, I'm going to have to save this rewatch because Bird is an hour late. I wasn't an hour late. Kronos' Bird can never be early. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, I saved this to the Bop playlist because you are so late. Well, thank you, Wes. I appreciate that. Wesley says, see, Bird of Prey, this is what happens when you are late. I apologize. Him and Kronos were talking quite a bit. Wesley says, you stay here and tell Bird of Prey that he is a horrible dictator. Wes, you make my heart cry. Captain Trek's in the house. Hello, Captain. And Richie Poole wants Dear Sister O'Prey. Sorry, Richie, no Sister O'Prey here today. No Sis O'Prey. Not Ryan Johnson says Bird is early for his next stream tomorrow. It was still at 3:50 p.m. Richie Poole yells Jaloja as we get closer to that 4:05 p.m. time when I can switch over to the other. And yes, okay, so now we can switch over to the other view of the chat. That's easier for me to read and doesn't show off this big red spot on my cheek that I was trying to cover up. But I was scratching at this yesterday. I thought there was like a scab or something, and I'm scratching at it last night, and like Mom was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got a scab or something. And she looks, she's like, it's a hair. I was like, son of a bitch. Mama prays, takes the tweezers, pulls out a hair, and it was gone. I, meanwhile, scratched my way into my cheek. I was fucking guts. No, there wasn't any guts. It was a gusher, though. I scratched it just a little bit, and it gushed. A lot of blood. I have a lot of blood in that cheek, apparently. So 4:05 p.m. Kronos says thanks to Hector. He can't take the accent anymore. Hector accented says at 06, it's a signal of the apocalypse. And Richie Poole officially called me Lato Prey 5. Kronos says his bird actually alive, and then the credits began. John DeMarco says greetings, everyone. 47 Yorktown says hello, young sir. Hello, 47 Yorktown. And Kronos says, I told you. Late. Martok, too. Martok rocks. Captain Shrek says hello to Kronos. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Captain Trax says Kronos popping in before Crappy's letters start. It's going to be a while before we get to Dear Bob Cap. Kronos is bird of prey. Can you have any more horse hoses hooked up to yourself? I could, Kronos. I've had IVs hooked in. I've had hoses going down my throat. I've had hoses going through my neck in this hole they had to cut in me. I had hoses delivering nutrition into me. I had hoses coming out of a certain part of me that's not on camera and never will be on camera. I had a hose coming out the other side of me. Trust me, none of it is fun. These are the most fun hoses you can have. And Kronos say the tips count. Spank the like button or don't. That's good. That's good advice. And Kronos likes the t-shirt. Thank you. It is, of course, Yitza artwork down here. The original Yitza artwork t-shirt. Professor Brainy Speck says Qapla, Professor. Kronos is human conflict, indeed. Never in the history of human conflict. You know, like Quark said, the Ferengi didn't have anything like that. The Ferengi are better than us. Hector says the bad people. I'm sure the German fighter pilots didn't see themselves as such. No, I'm sure they didn't. Although, weirdly, they also didn't see the British people as bad people. The Germans were fighting to get the British to join the empire, which still boggles my mind. They hated most every other people on Earth, but they looked at the British as their brothers that they wanted to join. They weren't fighting to kill them, per se. They were fighting to get them to join, and their goal was eventually, faced with destruction, they would eventually decide to join Germany rather than not. Basically like the French. Okay, they weren't trying to kill the French. They were just trying to get the French to join. Now, the French, of course, laid down their guns very quickly and said, okay, we don't want bombs being dropped in Paris. We'll join. And I understand it's a lot simpler. It was a lot more difficult than just surrendering. And I could probably see the reason why it was strategically right for France to surrender, being they had no ocean between them and Germany. But basically, it's a big difference when you're under attack by an enemy who's trying to wipe you from existence and an enemy that simply wants you to join with them. Actually, it's a lot like the U.S. Civil War. The North wasn't fighting to eradicate the Southerners. The North was fighting to stop the South from trying to leave. And the South wasn't trying to eradicate the North. The South was fighting to just say, leave us the fuck alone, which is really weird compared to the wars we think of, U.S. versus Japan, U.S. versus Germany, U.S. versus Russia, North Korea versus South Korea, although that was more like a civil war again. So it's weird. The intentions of war is not always to eliminate your opponent. It makes it much more complicated than just two sides we think about. Richie Pools is Bird of Prey. You are particularly inspiring this afternoon. Hail, Karoga. Thank you, Richie. And Kronos says, Karoga is the devil. Dr. Alex is Qapla, Bird of Prey. I hope you are doing well. Looking good. Thank you, doctor. I know I'm not. I've got the hoses coming out of my nose. I got this fucking giant red spot on my face like I'm fucking Jupiter. Oh, it's the giant red spot. No, it's Bird of Prey 5. Richie Poole says, what other things? I don't know, Richie. It's been a while since remind me what I was talking about, Richie, and I can tell you. The Random Menace is greetings from the future. Wife wants to watch DS9. Looks like she wants me to perform today. Yay and bye. Oh, Random Menace, good for you. Give the wife a little extra something from your friends in Karoga. Arabic Saunders says, what's he talking about? Just got here. I don't know. I was off the rails. Kronos is back in time. Good song. And Kronos is blamable. 54.5 Access Radio says Winston Churchill could really give a good speech. He sure as hell could. Too bad you cannot play it on 54.5 Access Radio. Or maybe you just play it and then you have an immediate response. Dee Myers is Bird of Prey Qapla. How are you and the family, Dee? I am doing well right now. It was a rough day. Don't get me wrong. But right now I'm feeling good. More importantly, we believe it is in fact somebody's birthday. I was informed by a certain mother of prey that it is Dee Myers' birthday. Or it was very recently, one way or the other. So happy birthday, Dee Myers. And I will now perform my people's native song for you, Dee, along with my cousin, Ozzy O'Prey. Oi! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. The Catman, a.k.a. Dee Myers. Happy birthday to you. And a big cheer from all the Roos. Yay, they're jumping up and down, and they're tossing their joeys back and forth like basketballs, celebrating the birthday of the great Dee Myers. Happy birthday, sir. Our continent tips its hat to ya. Thank you, Ozzy O'Prey. It was very nice of you to sing for our good friend Dee Myers. I hope Mamo Pray's intel was correct. And if it wasn't, at least you guys got a good song out of it. Blaming Facebook. That's the thing. If you friend Mamo Pray on Facebook, she gets access to your birthdays, and she will tell me sometimes. So that's a risk you take. Kronos is rolling. 54.5 Access Radio says, Kronos, are you being a good boy? Have you ever heard of Kronos not being a good boy? Oh, wait. Yeah, of course we have. Oh, man, I am so far behind in the chat. Aravic Sonder with a $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Aravic. I'm sure something's going to pop up any second. Oh, no, it won't. I turned it off. I got to turn it back on. There we go. I don't know if I caught it in time. Okay, yeah, I did catch it in time. I did. I had to turn it off for the... There we go. It's a fake. I had to turn it off from when I recorded my Lower Decks review. I didn't want something popping up in the middle of my Lower Decks review. So I turned them off. Good thinking, brain. You see, that's how you prevent things from happening, by thinking about them beforehand. I gotta give myself credit for that. Fornification helmet, yes, Mike Richards. Executive producer Sal Leibowitz is Qapla Bird of Prey. Will the Bird of Prey approved K-less fornification helmet have Kung Fu grip? No, of course not. It doesn't have arms. It's just a helmet. Professor Brainy Specs says, hey to Kronos. Kronos says, wow, Bird is just lazy and cheating. Well, that's what you gotta be. You can't read every single comment. We'll be here too late. Everybody would leave. Actor says, somebody know if Deej is okay. Actor, Deej was on in the backstage yesterday with LDG in the morning. He texted me at one point that he was okay. I haven't heard from him today, but I have no reason to think he's not. He had heard basically that he was sent home. He was okay, and he had to meet with his doctor next week. That was the last I'd heard from Deej. Kronos' Bird of Prey. Tube use sucks. No way. It does. LDG says, problems with your platform. Why am I not surprised? DD Myers' Bird of Prey. YouTube has effed with my notifications for over 6 months. I'm sorry to hear that, DD. Kronos is the Canadian Prez is a soy boy. Professor Brainy Specs is sorry he's at work. No problem, Professor. He says, Richie Poole, I hope you're doing fine. As do I. Actor says, good luck going against the U.S. Army. Nobody said anything like that. Kronos says, Bird is awesomely ranting, by the way. I wouldn't call that a rant. Dee Dee loves a bird rant. Kronos says, no wonder the government wants to take away your right to have guns. Thomas's Bird of Prey has blooded his basement, though. Dee Dee says, Kronos, that they do. They want to control you. Aravic Sana says, I'm so confused. What brought this on? Memories, Aravic Sonder. Truth be told, I had dreams. Dreams led to memories. Memories led to reminiscing. Reminiscing led to thinking about better days. And then a look at what went on today. And I saw that today was the day Winston Churchill gave his speech about the Battle of Britain. And Winston Churchill was my boss's hero. And we even went to London. We met Winston Churchill's grandson and great grandson. We had tours of Winston Churchill's home, Winston Churchill's offices, where they had their underground bunker during World War II. My boss got to sit in the seat Winston Churchill sat in when he was getting updates from the war underground in London. And just thinking back to better days, and yeah, just thinking back to better days. You want to be a Duke, Kronos? Actors as Bird is very much in favor of installing a monarchy in USA. I'm in favor of installing Karoga in the USA. Not necessarily a monarchy, but I mean, yes, Charlie O'Prey will probably be the next in line. Doesn't mean that he has to choose a family member, though. I'm not saying the bloodline is royal. It's just the smartest person I know. D.D. Myers says good. Vanilla is good. Kronos' Uncle Paulie wouldn't be happy, and he sticks to his point that Jake was spoiled. You know what? I'll tell you, Jake was spoiled dating all those Dabo girls. I mean, plus his father was emissary of the prophets, which, like, I mean, that had to help him with the Bajoran girls. Like, obviously, he's going to marry a Bajoran girl because she's going to be like, oh, shit. That's basically like marrying the king's son. You know, if you marry the emissary's son, your soul is like saved regardless of what you do. There's no better thing you could do as a Bajoran than to be married to the emissary's son. I'm sure Jake was very popular with the Bajoran ladies on the station. Actors as horrible dictator is a slant or a compliment to a dictator. It's a slant. We don't want to be horrible. We want to be loved. We don't dictate. Okay, here's the thing about dictators. We don't dictate because we hate our people or we hate humanity. We dictate because we love our people. Okay? We didn't want to be put in the positions we were put in. That was thrust upon us by, whether you want to call it God or you want to call it circumstance. You know, we just happened to be the smartest people in the room when the government changed. We didn't elect, we didn't choose to be. It was just granted to us. And we have to act. And, you know, putting anyone else in charge of Karoga besides myself would be a disservice to all Karogans. As long as I can successfully lead Karoga. And then, once I can't, Charlie O'Prey will probably be the next best person in line to lead Karoga. And after that, it'll be up to him. Now, if it's his child or nephew or whatever, so be it. But if it's somebody completely outside the bloodline, that's very possible. I know not what the future will bring. Just saying. All I know is that it won't be anti-tracker. That no Turdistan bloodline allowed to lead Kuroga. That is one thing. That is the only rule. Not Ryan Johnson says, how long until birds start skipping the chat? Obviously, it wasn't long at all. D.D. Myers' Bird of Prey is at least 20% machine now. Richie Poole says a catheter, TMI. Not now, Richie, but at one time, actually many a times, every time you go under the knife, you wake up with a catheter sticking out of that part of yours. It's the part they don't talk about. More, let me see, over 5 times. More than 5 times, I've had to have the nurse remove the catheter while I was wide awake. Okay? I'm just saying. Most people, if that happens once or twice in their life, that's it. So far, I'd say I think it's been 5 times. Dee Dee says Bird of Prey is more machine than human. He's going to soon take over the world. Maybe it will be a better place after all. Kronos doesn't trust cyborgs. And this is why I don't trust technology. This is like, honestly, we'll talk about this one day. Maybe it'll be today. I don't trust technology and I don't trust other people. And it's the fucking worst thing in the world for me to be in the position I am, where I have to trust technology and other people. It's like my own personal hell. That said, the one person I can trust, of course, is Mamo Prey. So it's far from personal hell. So I don't want it to sound that bad, but this is not the life, obviously not the life I would have chosen to lead. And in fact, had you asked me what would be the worst life could lead, it would be one where I am responsible, where I need require someone else to be responsible for everything I do, from eating to drinking to pooping to peeing to washing to reading a book. Every fucking thing I do technically requires someone else to help. And that is the one thing I always applauded myself. I was somebody who wanted to be self-sufficient. I was someone who planned to one day live off the grid. I didn't want to be reliant on the fucking electric company. Okay? When I was in my 20s, I was planning for how eventually I was going to have my own well and my own power generator and live off the grid and be one of those crazy people in the woods. That was where I thought my life was headed. And instead, it's like, nope, not only are you never going to be a crazy person in the woods, you're not even be able to get to the fucking woods. You're going to be a crazy person in a house, in a city, maybe an apartment, maybe in a group home, who knows? But I will never likely be able to be living alone in the woods, not dependent on anybody for anything. Kronos doesn't hate DS9. That's good, Kronos. Eastland Burkholder says the Emperor has a beauty spot, not a pimple. Well, I tell you, it's not a pimple. It was a lot of blood. Don't squeeze it. It's too late. Richie Pools has led the petition to the Planetary Society to officially change planet Jupiter's name to Bird o' Prey 5. Yeah, don't let Elihu know. He'll tell somebody, and they're going to change the name of Jupiter to Bird o' Prey 5. Agner says Jupiter, in case is more like Olympus Mons on Mars. It's a crater. You think this is a crater or a mountain? It's a mountain. Chrono says, I like the movie Dread. Tim Chris says, hello, Bird. Hello, Tim. Qapla. Not the first Dread. You don't, so Judge Dread you don't like, but Dread you do. Chrono says, Dee Dee is aging, apparently. Happy birthday again, Dee Dee. I don't know if Dee Dee's still here. They are. Okay, we'll get to them. Eastland Burkholder says tea tree oil on red bumps on the skin. Thank you, Eastland. We do have plenty of tea tree oil. Dr. Scotty says my favorite part of the show. Qapla, Dr. Scotty. The dingoes are going nuts. I guess that was when I was singing. The roos are sore today, says Kronos, and Kronos says it's a steak. It's a steak. Love that episode. I don't know what we're talking about. Richie Pools says, I'm sure something's going to pop up any second. Bird o' Prey 5 on the third date. Bradley Briggs says it's a snake. Dee Dee says howdy to Dr. Scotty. And Jedi Bill says happy birthday to the Catman Dee Dee Myers. Kronos says don't give away Kuroga credits. Dee Dee says howdy to Bradley Briggs. Jedi Bill says hello, Bird of Prey, Qapla, brother warrior, hail Kuroga. Hail to you, Jedi Bill. Let's see. Dee Dee says thank you to Jedi Bill. Hope he's doing well. Dee Dee does not seem to be acknowledging his birthday. Kronos says Birdie's got a gun. The world's come undone. Dee Dee says that's one way to put it. Kronos says, yay, nostalgia. That's a horrible drug. And Kronos liked the Dabo girls. And we all like the Dabo girls, I think. Dee Dee says, Kronos, there were quite a few good-looking Dabo girls on DS9. Indeed. Professor Brainy Spec says, blah. 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 You never liked the Dabo girls? Agner says, K never got governed. Castro did. Kronos says, Bird is a dictator. Dee Dee says that he is. Kronos doesn't want to be caught. And he says, yay, Mama Pray. Dee Dee Myers is Bird of Prey. I know what you mean about not trusting. It sucks. Indeed it does. Professor Brainy Spec says, never trust me. Indeed. I never trust anybody more than I can throw them. Which means the only person I trust is Charlie. John Araki says, Bird, don't trust tech, e.g. the vax, don't trust people, e.g. the unvaxxed. Quite the dichotomy. I never said those things, but that is funny. Richie Poole says, don't catch me, bro, don't catch me. Oh, don't cath me. Don't cath me. Kronos says, I was trimmed by Deej many times. It does grow back. Wow. You were trimmed by Deej. Dee Dee Myers' Bird of Prey. Does Mama Prey have a story for us? I don't know. Yeah, Mamo Pray can do a story a little bit. Let me get a little bit further through, and we'll do some talk. But Mamo Pray might have a story. John Araki says hashtag free Maria and cancel Hillrom. Vile Mike says howdy folks, welcome Vile. Donde está Deej? Says John Araki. I'm not sure. I mean, I hope he is okay. Carlo Albanese says hi, Jupiter O pray. Hope everyone is as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. I can't believe I made that comparison. Chronos says millions of peaches. Peaches for me. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free. Carlo Albanese says, what's that, Sassy? Joey fell down the well again. I'm not going to read that one, Chronos. Where are we? Vile says howdy to Chronos and Richie. Chronos says, what did Bird's daddy do? That's from a song, Chronos. Vile says, I'm finishing a cigar before I got a late lunch with the Vile nephew and work on Jep Nerdy boards for Sunday. Sunday, Jep Nerdy returns. Richie Poole says, Vile Mike seems like a cigar is just sometimes. A cigar is just a cigar. Chronos is yes. No, it's not a sexy tale, Chronos. Jesus Christ. Vile Mike says, there's partial nudity in her story. Damn it, Chronos. Vile Mike says, I trust Berto Pray far as far as I can throw me. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Richie Poole, we demand a Mamo Pray story. Chronos says, it's been a long time getting from there to here. Vile says, Richie Poole, sometimes the cellular peptide cake with mint frosting is just a cake. And Chronos says, yang, yay! John Araki says, Taliban rises, Deej goes into hiding. Actor says, what about mint and chocolate? I hate mint. I hate mint, especially when it's combined with chocolate. Oh my God, I've bitten into mint chocolates and bleh, what comes out is brown, Kurdistan-y looking fudge. It's not good. Richie Poole says Chronos is having a bad influence on Mamo Pray. Darius Mickhausen. Damn it, Darius, I can pronounce it in my brain. Says Qapla, Darius. Chronos says, no worries, Mamo Pray can tell me tales on the side. Wesley Crusher is back. Says, Berta Pray, I forgot to write my weekly 50 Dear Bops. I know, Wes, I read that. It's fine. The less Dear Bops, the better. In fact, it's one thing I forgot to do is actually check, do we even have any Dear Bops? We certainly do. We certainly do have plenty of Dear Bops. But we're not at the Dear Bop portion yet. Okay. Okay, Mama Bray's gonna go out. I want to talk about a little reminiscing. Richie Poole says it's probably a story about baby Berta Pray getting naked in public. No, it's I don't think it is. What the hell is this? I've got an appointment on Wednesday. Oh no, I don't. Okay. So, um, okay. Here's what happened. I had a dream, as I'm off to do. And in this dream, I had a key to the hotel room. Okay, so I had a dream that I was at, it was like a work function, and so a whole bunch of coworkers were at the hotel with us, and for whatever reason, um, we needed access to one of the employee rooms, and I had a key to that master key that would get into everybody's room in the hotel. Now, you might say, that's crazy. Why would you have such a thing? Well, because that's the type of thing they would give me. And I don't know why, but like when I was with the lawyers would treat me like I was a lawyer. When I was with the finance people would treat me like I was with finance. And when I was with the security people, who were FBI and NYPD detectives, ex-FBI, ex-NYPD, they would treat me like I was with security. And so when we would go somewhere, our security director would get a master key for the hotel that they could access anybody's hotel room. And they'd get a copy for me. And to this day, I honestly don't know why the fuck they would have given me a key that could access everybody's hotel room. Never did I ever need to go into anybody's hotel room, but for fuck's sake, I was walking around with a key in my wallet that I could get into anybody's hotel room sometimes. Especially my boss's hotel room, which that was the only one I could understand, because he is liable to call you at 3 a.m. and say, Joe, come quickly, I had an idea. And you were expected to get over to his room as quickly as possible and see what the fuck he had to say. And those things did happen. I was woken up middle of the night once or twice because his TV went out, and I had to go over there, and I needed to get in the room, and I had the key. But I'd have the key for everybody. And I was thinking about how trusted I was at my company, and how it was, and no pun, a long journey. It was a long road getting from there to here. My first day showing up for work. Now I went and I interviewed, okay? And then I started work, I believe it was on a Wednesday. So my first day I showed up to the office, I was early because I was traveling a long distance to get there, and I didn't want to be late. And so to not be late, I ended up being quite early. So I was the first person there. And so the woman who would be the first person to open the office, she knew me, and okay. And at this time, there was we had a code number that you had to type in, a keypad on the door. You had to type in to open the main door. And so she honestly put her fingers up, and she's like, it's no offense, but until you're here a few days, I don't want to give you the code. And I said, no, it's fine. I get it. So, because during the day, there's a receptionist there who could buzz me in anytime I needed to come in anyway. it really wouldn't be a number I needed. So like literally this is where I start. The first day she will not even give me the code to come in the main front door of the business. Now she had a key that she needed to physically unlock the door first thing in the morning. In fact, 2 different locks. But just as a matter of course, throughout the day, I could not come back in without the receptionist buzzing me back into the office, which was fine. And I understood it. Okay. But 5, 6 years later, from not having the key to the front door of our office, not only did I have the key, okay, I was the one who put in the new security system that did away with the number pad, and everybody had these little black things we had to carry on our keychain. And I was the person who had complete control over those. And I had the keys to physically open the door because I was so often getting to work before anyone else. She gave me the keys so I could open the doors. And then I was getting to work before anyone else in the building. So she gave management to give me a key to the fucking building. So I could go into the office on a Saturday or a Sunday or any day of the week or any time 24/7, even if the building was otherwise closed, open the lobby door, turn on the elevators, go up to our floor, go to the front door, unlock our front door, use my swipe card, get in. Then I had the code I had to put into the alarm to turn off the alarm system. Then I also had the emergency code in case I didn't make it to the alarm system on time, that I could pick up the phone because the alarm people were going to call, and I could give them the password that meant don't send the police. I just forgot to put the code in on time. Otherwise, the police would charge us like $500 for coming down if there was nothing going wrong. And by the way, I had complete access to the security cameras, and I could control the security cameras. I could edit, delete, whatever, the security camera footage, because again, that was my domain. And then the last key I got was the final key, the God Almighty key, the key that there is no better, bigger key one can get in a building, in a commercial work environment. The key. Oh, no, not to the key to the bathrooms. Fuck that. I had the key to the bathrooms. I could get any fucking bathroom I wanted, like 9 months in. And there were plenty of bathrooms. There was big commercial bathrooms in the hallways on every level. But then B, like there was private bathrooms for the company's founder, Mr. Frank, and he was never in the office half the year. Plus the CEO had his private bathroom, plus the VP had his own bathroom, which, by the way, oh my God, I don't know why he'd take a bathroom. It was literally, he had a bathroom that shared a wall with the communal kitchen. Like, that's the worst fucking bathroom. I would purposely, even if they said, here's your own bathroom, I would say, fuck that. I'm going to use the one in the hallway. But whatever. No, the most important key anyone can get in a fucking building, the key to the roof. Oh my fucking God. Did I like going up on that roof? It was like, holy fucking shit. I didn't know what I was missing. And granted, we were only a 4-story building, and we were surrounded by 10, 12, 15-story buildings. But my fucking God, did I like going up on that roof. You go up on the roof, there's fucking, they had the wires going crisscrossing. There was the AC. They had a fucking separate air conditioner that they put in that was used for our server room. They ran a fucking vent off of it just to go to my office because I was always hot and other people in the hallway were always cold. I'm not going to say it's women, but it was women. They're all women get cold because men just like it colder in offices. So every fucking woman in that office, as nice as they were, in the fucking, whether it was the middle of winter or the heat of July, every fucking woman in that office had a space heater under her desk. The fact that we were blowing circuit breakers all year round on the hottest days of the year because 52 different women were trying to run their space heaters on high at the same fucking time. So yes, I had a separate air conditioner going to my office. I'd go on the roof. I could check the air conditioner. I could check the wires. I had a direct TV hookup in my office so I could record anything because we'd have people go on news channels and shit. So we needed to record from CNN and stuff once. We had to record from CNN once in 10 years. So I had an entire television, set-top box, and direct TV with every channel, every fucking channel, direct TV in my office. It was fucking amazing. And then I could go up on the fucking roof and just like walk around like, yeah, I'm the only one up here. I loved it. I loved it. That was my keychain. My friends would make fun of me because my keychain looked like a school janitor. And I tell you, I was fucking proud of that keychain. I knew every fucking key and what it did. And I took each key I had as a point of fucking pride. Each key was someone else trusting me with something. I had keys for everything. After my boss died, okay, and like I said, my job went from an A+ to an A after Mr. Frank died. But I was still working in the office. And unfortunately, I had to start reporting to a VP who, listen, she was a very, very nice person, but it's no secret that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. She was a very nice person, and we worked well together when we did have to work together, but we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. One of those things was what would happen. We needed, the whole company was, first off, the company was getting pushed to become more corporate, which I hated. I hated it. But, and I was resisting. Okay, I was resisting that shit to the max. Anything I could do to resist, I was doing it. I knew I was pissing some people off too, but it didn't fucking matter. They knew I was on the right. So we get our fucking head of human resources for the first fucking time. And she's all worried, like, we don't have any continuity plan. And, well, what do people actually do here? And I'm thinking, if you don't know what people do here, that's your problem, not my problem, lady. But she's like, oh, she wants everybody to write down what all our responsibilities are. Basically, so they could fire you and they knew who to hire to replace you. Of course, they don't tell you that. They're saying, well, if God forbid you died and we had to, replace you, what would you do? Write that down. I was like, really? Okay. So I give a completely honest, candid, and I'm like, listen, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, I basically said you're fucked. I said you're going to have to hire a consultant for this, and this. It's going to cost this much money, and it was ridiculous. I made it look. I was like, because I put in everything I did, and even then, I skipped some of the other things that were just either not believable or was just too hard to describe to an outsider. So I didn't even bother with that stuff. Anyway, my VP read it and came to me and threw it back on my desk and saying, I can't give this in. I was like, what do you mean you can't give it in? They asked what they had to do to replace me. That's what they have to do. She's like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, it's like $500, $600, $800,000 worth of stuff. She's like, no. She's like, no, I need a real one. I was like, that is the real one. She's like, you know what I mean. I was like, so you want me to lie? She's like, I can't turn this in. I was like, fuck, fine. I was like, I you know what? I was like, it doesn't matter, because at this time I knew I wasn't quitting, and I didn't think they were going to fire me. And let's face it, they weren't going to. So fine. I was like, whatever you want, Gene. I don't care. You want something? I'll type something up. So I took like the top 10 things. I completely ignored 90% of my duties, and I gave it to them, and I still was like, well, she still begrudgingly accepted that copy. And so when I ended up going to the hospital and then not being able to go back to my job, they went to that piece of paper that I submitted and found it was wholly inadequate at explaining everything I was doing. Now, I'm willing to bet that at no time did this VP ever mention the fact that she had rejected my first copy, to the point that the CEO of the company, I know this because, frankly, listen, business is a chess game. Business is a chess game, okay? And you move in pieces. You have a long-term plan, and not to say that I treat people like chess pieces. I don't. People are people. I love them. That said, I want to become king, and I make no qualms about that. I intend to become king. And so I had people in place in certain places. And I heard after the fact that the CEO had put in, because they were wondering why they were spending so much money to replace what I had been doing. So the CEO asked the finance department to literally tally up. So pray, emergency. Oh.
He knows you're on.
Okay. So pray is pushed. I will. Sisso Pray has something to say, people.
So I know we all care, and there's lots of discussion to be had. I got a call from Charlie Baby's doctor. They said that he has COVID antibodies.
So Charlie was exposed to COVID.
So she said it could have been that or the breast milk. He only said like twice after I had the first shot but it was that the week of when it was, in my system doing stuff. So I don't know. It was either
Did they give a
or he
number?
got it through a little bit of breast milk.
Did they give a number on the antibodies?
No, I asked and she said she didn't see a number. And then I said, what are the chances it's a false positive? And that's the part that kind of confused me. She was like, it's very unlikely. We don't think it is. And so I don't know what information they're using to say that. But
got antibodies. That's a good thing.
yeah, I just worry if it's a false positive, I'm just going to continue to live my life normally.
Yeah, no. Obviously, you got to continue to live your life normally.
Right. Like, maybe he has that protection,
Right.
Look at it. You don't want to.
Well, you get a copy of the report.
What'd you say?
Ask for a copy of the report.
That's a good idea.
All right, I'm going to give you back to Mom. Sorry about that. Well, it's good to know Nephew O'Prey has COVID antibodies. That's excellent news. I don't know if that means that I was exposed to COVID, because God knows the once a week Charlie's here, I hold him. I suppose it's possible he got exposed during one of the few weeks he didn't come one weekend, and it could have run its course and I never been exposed. But actually, I did get my blood test back, and I do have COVID antibodies. But I think they assume it was from the vaccine. I actually have to ask my doctor, is it possible the antibodies were from being exposed? I'm not sure, but she said I have a surprising number of antibodies for somebody who only had one shot. So I don't know. Anyway, what was I talking about? So right. So the CEO had them measure how much they were paying while I was in the hospital dying. The fact all the consultants that they had to hire to replace all the things I was doing for them. And he found it hard to believe that I was as vital to the office. Listen, the CEO is a great guy. He was hard to get along with for a lot of people. I never had a problem getting along with him. Okay, let me put this. I never had a problem getting along with him. A lot of other people did. I just found he had an open door policy, which is all I needed. He was anti-corporate like I was, even though he was an imposing, intimidating figure to many people. I didn't care. Open door policy, that's all I need. So I would go in and just say, hey, I need this, I need that. We need to talk about this. We need to talk about that. One time, they wanted to change who paid me, because I was being paid by the main corporation, which is where I thought I should have been being paid from. But they had this thing where they were going to make this separate corporation to pay the people who were part of my boss's personal entourage, his personal entourage, which included his chefs, his golfers, his drivers, his physical therapists, his nurses, and basically shouldn't have included me in any way whatsoever, except for the fact that I was making a pretty high salary and they wanted to move that salary off the books of the corporation so that they could show a bigger profit, and I'm sure they would all get bigger bonuses. So this first time I heard that plan, I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I walked in there. I was like, "No, this is not gonna go well." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll invite in the COO and the chief vice president." So I had the CEO, the COO, and the top VP of the company, and I had to make a presentation to the three of them as to why I should continue to get paid from the company and not be moved off to this other phantom corporation, of which we all knew that once Mr. Frank passed away, they were all going to be fired. And he said, "No, it's not like." He was like, "We'll move you back. If Mr. Frank passes away, we'll like, fuck you. There's no reason to move me to begin with." So he's like, "Fine, just come in and do a presentation." And so I was like, "Fine." And this wasn't like a come back and do a presentation in a week. This was come back and do a presentation after lunch in like 45 minutes. Fine. Whatever. I didn't need 45 minutes. I knew what I wanted to say then. So he brings those guys in. I talk for 20 minutes. And he's like, "Okay, let us talk." So I go outside, I sit down, I talk with his secretary for a little bit. She's like, "You're nuts. You know that, right?" I was like, what do you mean I'm nuts? I was like, "Listen, this is the whole point of having an open door policy. What the fuck? I've got a problem. I'm going to bring it to him. I'm not going to just ignore the fucking fact." She's like, "I don't know what you think you're going to change." And like, I got a secretary from somewhere else in the company coming over to me saying I'm crazy. Why am I causing a problem? I'm causing a problem because I feel wronged. So they call me back in, and the CEO says to me, "Damn it, Joe, you're a better salesman than the other two people leave. The other two people leave. So it's just me and the CEO. He says, "Damn it, Joe, you're a better salesman than I thought." He's like, "You didn't get me, but you sure sold those other two." I was like, "Well, 2 out of 3, that's enough." So I stayed on the payroll of the main company, and less than a month later was unfortunately Mr. Frank's passing. So I didn't have to be moved back to the main company payroll, which would have been a fucking disaster of epic proportions for my finances. Plus, if they got, stupid and just tried to fire me with everybody else that was part of his entourage, I cut that off at the stop that from happening too. But I mean, those were like the best of times. From that point on, I earned my place. And like even after Mr. Frank had passed away, I was still treated like somebody who was hired by God himself. Like I could do no wrong. I would make a suggestion and people would implement it as if it had come from our dead founder himself. To the point that people were calling me Joe Frank. Frank being the last name of Mr. Frank, the owner of the company. It was hysterical. Now that said, and again, this was my philosophy of work, was never, no matter how high up you are in the chain of command. And this is 100%. I was from my learning of what I learned from Deep Space Nine, what I learned from Star Trek, into making me the man I was before I'd gotten sick. never be afraid to get your hands dirty. Okay, that was episode 1, Emissary. That was episode 1, Emissary. Never be afraid to get your hands dirty. Kira told Cisco, I guess you don't get your hands dirty. And Cisco looked for the biggest piece of scrap metal he could find, threw it in a dumpster, and showed her his hands. Granted, it wasn't a lot, but it was something. So even though I was fucking like royalty, if there was furniture to be moved or something heavy had to be moved, I'm the 6'4" at the time, probably 300-pound guy who could move it. And there was other people. There was a guy in the mailroom who was very good at helping, but I would work with him as much as I would work with our lawyers or our accountants or our art team or our marketing team. In fact, he was by far the more fun person to interact with, as you would imagine. So, if something had to be moved, we'd go move it. Okay. I tell you, we had maybe 12 Poland Spring water coolers throughout our 3 floors. And a lot of them were at the ends of hallways, and a lot of the people near those hallways were, I don't want to seem sexist, but they were tiny, scrawny little women. So I made sure, and once a day I would check and I would change the water bottles, the Poland Spring 5-gallon water jugs, just because I could do it in like 2 seconds. And I've seen them struggle to do it because they were too proud to ask for help or whatever. Well, fuck yeah, I'm not going to make them ask. I'm just going to go and look. Is the water low? Yes. Then I'm just changing the fucking water bottle. You don't have to come beg me to do it. So things like that. You do things like that, and people like you. Okay? They just do. They don't want to see something happen to you. They will be willing to do things you wouldn't expect to keep you happy, to keep you in place. And I'm just talking business-wise. It's a great way, physical way, to keep coworkers happy. Anyway. Oh, so Mama Pray, yeah. Mama Pray, please, Mama Pray. I'm sure they're waiting to hear this Mama Pray tale. I wasn't saying I was physically hot, Richie. We had a bathroom off a kitchen. Okay, I will. Mama Pray, story time. Okay, your camera's off. Okay. Please welcome to the microphone, Mama Pray.
Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well. This is not really a long tale, but it's sort of a tale that at some point in it realized that Berto Prey might never have been. At least he would not have been to the parents that he has. I was 20 years old. I was working in Manhattan on Wall Street, and I was looking for an apartment. Now, the thing then, I really didn't drive, and I needed an apartment near a train station because I didn't want to walk either. Yeah, and just by coincidence, I was walking down this block And it was an older apartment building. I don't know if it was 6 floors. And the, I guess, janitor was outside moving garbage cans. And I walked past and I said, "You don't have any vacancies here, do you?" And he looked at me. He said, "For who? You?" I said, yeah. I'm looking for like a 1-bedroom apartment. Guys, I gotta run for a second. I'll be right back.
I mean,
Sorry, I had to give Bert a bottle of water. He was taking a pill, and I took the empty bottle away and never brought a full one. Okay.
motherfucker, I just told the story how I used to get 5-gallon bottles of Poland spring water and change them 3 times a day. And fuck, I need Mama Pray to go get me a 16.9 ounce bottle of Poland spring water. It's literally what I'm drinking. A 16.9 ounce bottle of Poland spring water.
And that's
how the tides have fucking turned. Excuse me, Mama Pray.
That's okay.
Please.
He normally has at least 2 bottles on his table here. I don't know how I let it go. Anyway, let's go back to my story. So, anyway, the super, that's what he was, not janitor, super. He says, "I don't know how you found out about it, but I'll show it to you." And right on the first floor to the back was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was perfect. Anyway, I wound up renting it. Now, the point I brought up is it was to the back that the living room windows opened onto a courtyard. And the other side, the bedroom windows opened up, believe it or not, to the train tracks. They're not, well, there was a big wall there, but beyond the wall was the train. And I liked this apartment because it was half a block from the station where I'd get the train, take it right into work. The subway stopped at the corner of the building I worked in. This was a perfect apartment. Anyway. If that's for me, tell them I'll call them back. Is it? Well.
Hello.
Okay, guys, we gotta wait a minute.
Hello. Hey, and Debbie.
Oh.
Okay. I feel pretty good.
Can I talk while you're talking, or do you?
Yeah, I'm good. Can we call you back in a little bit? Okay, thanks. She's fine.
Okay. All right. This story is taking a long time to get out. Okay. So anyway.
Take your time.
So you kind of got the layout of this apartment. Now, my father was in business all his life, and he had a partner, and I mean, we always called his partner Uncle. And his partner had a son who was maybe a year or 2 younger than me. And, I mean, again, I knew him all my life, but he was, I don't know, say a lost soul type of person. He wasn't into heavy drugs, but he was into some drugs, and he drank a lot. And, I didn't mention that I got this apartment. It was not that far from my parents, where my stepmother and my father were living. So they were the same neighborhood, the same people, and I can't quite remember how it happened. I think I went out to get dinner or something, because I never cook for myself. I still don't. But I was, again, half a block away from a main strip that had grocery stores, restaurants, Carvel ice cream. Anyway, I think I had gone out to get dinner, and I was walking back and ran into Joe. That really was his name. And he was like kind of wobbling and telling me he wasn't getting along with his mother and father and blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Named me after a drunk and a druggie?
No. You were named after my father. But you know what? He was probably named after my father, too. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, his father and my father were partners. But anyway, I said to him, fine, come back with me. And he fell asleep on the couch, so I just left him there. And I ate and I went to sleep. Sometime in the middle of the night. Oh, also, it was the middle of July. It was hot. I had fans. I did not have air conditioning. So the windows in the living room that opened up to the courtyard were open. There were screens, but that's all there were. And in the bedroom, I had windows open. Sometime around midnight, I was sound asleep. I hear banging on my door. Banging. Now, this is where the partial nudity comes in. I was sleeping in just like baby doll panties. My door was closed. I was, in my bedroom I was alone. And I had a cart, a push cart with my laundry in it to go to the laundromat the next morning. Luckily, on top of that cart was a big bath towel. The banging on my door, and I wake up and I smell the smoke. I wrap the towel around me, run out of the bedroom, scream for Joe to wake up in the living room. He came out of his stupor, and as I open the door, and he's right behind me, the firemen are already at the door. They were the ones banging, and the air just shoot, and the whole living room went up in flames. That's the part where I said, Joe almost wasn't Bird, because it was really close. Later we found out maybe it was electrical, maybe the kids that other neighbors heard playing in the courtyard threw something through the window like a Molotov cocktail. It was so bad. Everything had burned so badly that the fire marshal really couldn't determine a cause. But the point is, after I got out, wrapped in a towel in July, and I was, like I said, 20 years old, and I wasn't bad looking for a 20-year-old. None of my neighbors offered me a goddamn robe or anything. Nothing. And they were all older people in this building. You'd think some lady would say, here. No, nothing. So, truthfully, I don't know what happened to Joe at this point. He didn't die in the fire. He was outside. But at some point, I think he just left and, walked home or whatever he did. I ran to the corner. There was a car service. And it was a car service. The guy knew me because I used to take it back to my father's house. And, well, I walked in. And now the street has all, the fire trucks are there. Everybody smells the smoke. You know it's a fire. And the owner, guy Tony, who luckily had to be over 300 pounds, which meant he wore a very large shirt. He took his shirt off and gave it to me. Literally. I can still picture the shirt today. Look, Joe.
It was a shirt.
It was a shirt. It, you know, and I got one of his cars. I mean, the fire department, oh, if you have no place to go, we'll put you up in a hotel. And I said, where? Well, the neighborhood, they wanted to put me up in the hotel. I wasn't going. I mean, if I would say it was probably a place that they put homeless back then. And so got a car from Tony. I had no money. I had nothing. No wallet, nothing.
Everything was in the fire.
Everything. I mean, I ran out with just a towel around me. No shoes, nothing. And he said, here, I don't remember if he drove me or one of the guys drove me to my mother and father's house. My father heard me knocking. Oh, I think I called my father from the car service. That's what I did. And he was awake and he opened the door for me. And I remember him waking up my stepmother and saying, Joanne's here. She's had a fire. She's going to stay. And my stepmother was half awake. All she did was, here, give him my pillow. Anyway, I had to move in with them. And it was like, I came so close. It was one of the... It took me years to get over dreaming of it. And
oh, I'm sorry. I hope you don't start dreaming of it again.
No, I won't.
You had a lot of things you lost.
Oh shit! Yes.
You had a collection of coins, right? You worked for a bank.
Yeah, no, the coin collection didn't melt. But what happened was the fire in the kitchen, the living room, the firemen even took the axe and broke the toilet bowl. And I couldn't understand why, but then I thought about it. The water rushing from the toilet bowl. The only thing that wasn't burnt to a crisp was the bedroom. So whatever was in the bedroom itself, of course the clothes were all smoke damaged. I wound up having almost nothing, but the coin collection was in the bedroom. That I lost a couple of years later when I got robbed.
All right, the robbery.
But anyway, guys, it was a scary night. But luckily, only thing I lost were material items. I mean, I did lose like all my memories I had from kid photographs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why when we get a photograph from Mama Pray, it's from a relative.
Yeah.
And then we digitalize it immediately.
Yeah. I lost a lot in that respect, but I didn't lose my life. And I was here to have you.
Aww.
And Sis O'Prey. And because of that, now there's Nephew O'Prey. So.
And Chrono says, a rip to the toilet bowl.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what.
Was it pink?
No, it was white toilet bowl. But after that, then of course, tax time came and I took a casualty loss for everything that I lost. Furniture, the furniture was like 6 months old.
Yes, Carlos is New York.
Yeah. So I get audited by the IRS.
Wow.
Now, here I am. I worked on Wall Street, but it was like an office worker job. It paid my bills, but I didn't have a lot of bills. Anyway, so here I go myself to the audit. No representation, no CPA, no lawyer. The man wound up feeling so bad for me that was auditing me. He's saying, how many bras did you have? Because we were going through my clothing. And he's saying, well, I said, well, I had work clothes and blah, 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 blah. And we got down to the point where he says, how many bras do you have? I said, how much do you allow for a bra? He says, $1. I said, I had 100. Then he said, did you have silverware? I said, of course I had silverware. You know, I was saying to myself, I don't eat with my fingers. He's, no, silver. I said, oh yes, I had a chest, and I really did. Of a sterling silver dinnerware set, and not dinnerware, utensils. And it was in the kitchen, and it melted. It really did. It was so hot in there that all the silver was just melted. And
well, you know, I mean, you can use melted silver.
Well, I was so young and stupid.
Oh, it's wasted silver.
I left
Throw
it there.
out.
Yeah, I left it there. Anyway, I got $500 off my taxes for just that silverware that I was stupid enough to leave. Whoever cleaned out that apartment, you know. Anyway, that was my fire story. And
thank you, Mama Pray, for the tale. Everybody is wishing you the best and sorry to hear about it.
Well, thank you, but it's just one of the things.
Of course, Kronos says, bras, who needs them?
Yeah, that's the way I feel these days.
Carlos Albanese says, if you found out that you went back in time and stole your collection of something, would you be upset at yourself or happy that you have it again? Why would she be upset for having something again?
I wouldn't be upset. If I go back in time and move the coin collection to somewhere else before I got robbed, I'd do that. And I guess I would be smart enough to move the silverware, but
keep the silverware in your bedrooms, people. It's the only place it won't melt.
Well, the way that apartment was laid out, the bedroom was the safest room.
Now, I've heard you tell the fire story a number of times.
Yeah.
I never heard about this guy Joe being there.
Yeah, he was my father's partner.
I don't ever remember hearing that.
But I don't know what happened to him. I think he just walked home. He was, I don't know. What the hell? He was like taking pills, making him sleep.
Right.
So,
I gotcha. I understand.
No, he was there and he was just sleeping on the couch. You know.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome. Guys, have a good evening or whatever it is in wherever you live.
Okay.
You've got water now, son. Yes, yes.
I have water now. Yes. Okay.
That might explain the 15 fire extinguishers we have laying around here.
Yes. I mean, we do have a number of fire extinguishers.
Fire blankets.
Fire blankets, fire extinguishers, all types of fire, anti-fire aids, which is all well and good. I prefer them too. Okay. Let me get back to some of the chats and then we will get to Dear Bops. Wesley says, I will make sure to do some for Monday, meaning he wants to do some more Dear Bops for Monday. Wes, please don't. You don't have to. Wesley says, Bird of Prey, will not be listening or reading the chat, but I am here in the way it counts with money support. Thank you, Wesley. I do appreciate it. Wesley is, of course, a longtime member of the channel, Wesley Crusher, as is Dee Dee Myers. Lots of members. I appreciate all of my members. Dee Dee says, Kronos, you should still smoke pot regardless of the color. And Dee Dee says, Kronos, what's Odo got to do with anything? I don't know. Where did Odo come up? Harris is a great replacement for Biden, says Carnos. Oh, camel toe Harris. Wow. Yvette's in the house. Hello, Yvette. Sorry I didn't get to see that earlier. John Araki says hashtag bird steals garbage. Corona says, well, I do know that 2 + 2 = 4. The Basco scenario says absolute power. That's what I liked. Absolute power. It was a trip. It was a real trip. Did they give you the launch codes too? Asked Richie. Richie, if we had launch codes, I would have had them. There are things I can't even talk about. Just to be clear, I'm holding back because A, I feel like it's best, and B, I might legally still be under an NDA. I'm not even sure. But I am holding back some stuff too. There's more. But Jesus Christ, it was good. Kronos says, push the button, Berto Bray. I don't have that power. Kronos, I can't release Harvey. Kronos says, you have a kitchen in a ballroom, Berto Bray. A bathroom in a kitchen in a bathroom. No, we had a bathroom off a kitchen. Basically, I guess because they never meant to they never meant to have bathrooms in the offices. So they did have a kitchen. So they had pipes for a kitchen. So I guess a plumber decided, well, we could put a toilet over here. And so they brought the pipe through the wall for the toilet for the fresh water. And then God knows how they hooked up the toilet drain, but it's literally just the thinnest wall between the bathroom and the kitchen. And I was like, oh God, that is absolute wrong place to put a bathroom, is next to a big commercial kitchen. Talk about privacy. No, I was not hot. I never claimed to be hot. Richie Pools says Bird thinks he was hot. He must be. No, I was like hot stuff, not hot. Not attractive, not like that. Actor says women don't like cold. Noted. That is something you should note. Kronos needs to turn his AC up a notch. Yes, it was New York City. It was Brooklyn, actually. Mike Richards' Bird was in the Resistance. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. And I tell you, right after I left that company, the profits started going the other way. I'm not saying it was me, but Kronos is the queen in chess, has too much power. Yvette says, be at least 6 moves ahead in your mind. That's how you play chess, business, and life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kronos says, I expose myself all the time. And Kronos is Bird of Prey. I'm still waiting for a Mama Prey tale. Well, you got it, Kronos. You got it. And
Nudity was the towel.
John Araki says antibodies are greater than anti-trackers. Absolutely.
Can I bother you to
Yes, I turned the camera off for a minute, Mama
Yeah.
Pray.
I think we got delivery.
Actor says, is this The Office season 10? No, but I love The Office. If you've ever worked in an office, you probably love The Office. I sure as hell did. Entourage. Let me tell you, the HBO series Entourage was, in a way, pretty close to what it was like to being part of Mr. Frank's entourage, except that he wasn't a famous movie star. But the weird stuff that happens, the random people you meet with, that type of stuff. Um, um, Chrono says, "Hey Joe." I think that was Mamo Prey's tale. Chronos says, "What is Star Trek?" God damn it, Chronos, you know what I'm talking about. Chronos is Bird of Prey. We all know you are royalty. Well, yeah. Richie Pools is 300 pounds. Richie, I was 360 at one point. Probably more at some point. When I went in the hospital, I was 360 pounds. And then I put on weight because I got filled up with water when my kidneys shut down.
But you left the hospital at 200.
I left the hospital at 217, right?
No.
I left the hospital at 211 pounds. I left the nursing home at 217. I put on a few pounds. Yitza Lemon says, hello, Yitza. Richie Pools is partial nudity from Mamo Prey. Absolutely. Not one neighbor, not a single neighbor. That is terrible, especially for back in the 1960s, 1970.
Well,
Yeah.
Around 1970.
1970.
It was 1970, as a matter of fact. July 27th, 1970. Not that it's bothered me to.
She's remembered the day. Kronos would love to hear a Mamo Prey rant. JP says, do you have a halon system? No, JP, that would kill me. Kronos is Bird of Prey. How far apart can you spread your legs to get into power? What? Richie Bulls is Bird of Prey. Tell us everything about your job, especially the confidential stuff. JP's says, so Bird of Prey, are you a Red SEAL electrical engineer or a civil engineer? I don't know what a Red SEAL engineer is, so I guess I'm not that fancy of an engineer. But electrical, not civil. Yeah, electrical. Carlos says, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Oh, wait, you meant her. I thought you were talking about Hillary. I don't know why that came up in the chat, but it's funny. Wesley says, did I miss the Mamo Prey story? Yes, Wes, you did, unless you were listening to it. And JP says, damn it, Bird of Prey, sounds like you're describing working with boys from the old country, like that kind of make peoples disappear. No, it's not what I was describing at all. Kronos is Bird of Prey. That was a Harris joke. Whoa, what a joke. Okay, so it is finally time for Dear Bops. Dear Bop. This is the time of the state of the stream where if you don't like Dear Bop, feel free to mute or leave. Okay. Dear Bop, soft putty. Okay, not reading Soft Buddy. Dear Bob, hi Bob. I still don't know who Bob is. Dear Bob, hey Joe, hope you and your family is doing well. I hate the way Dear Bob's has turned into this PP match between grown men that are only jealous of one another. They can go out and create their own brand, but lack the creativity. They try to sabotage Dear Bob's only to keep drama going. Because when things are tough, they run away with their ball. They are self-entitled pricks. I assume you mean entitled. Self-untitled pricks. That is why we need things like Project Prometheus to sort them out. P. So I guess Project Prometheus sent that message. Captain Trex has had a great evening. Take care, Captain. Thanks for hanging out. Let's see. Loyal Croak. Okay. Dear Bob, I really need your help. My girlfriend is mad at me, and I'm not sure why. It all happened a few days ago. I got a new dog. She's a rescue from a local pound. She is a bit stubborn, but overall a good dog. So I asked my girlfriend if she wanted to go on a walk with me while I train Bucket. I didn't name the dog that. She already knows her name as that. Well, she got off her leash and chased a bunch of squirrels. Saint Chicky. And don't forget to call back Aunt Debbie. I didn't name the dog that. She already knows her name as that. Well, she got off her leash and chased a bunch of squirrels. I started calling out for her to get back. Come, Bucket, come, Bucket. But she would not come. I started to tell a bit, come, Bucket, good girl. When she finally came back, my girlfriend slapped me and walked off. I don't get it. What a bitch. Anyways, what do you think of my girlfriend's problem is? At least I thought I taught Bucket to come. Loyal Kurogan, number 65. I have absolutely no problem with that, Loyal Kurogan, number 65. If the dog's name is Bucket, what you gonna do? In fact, I think Bucket is a wonderful name for a dog, not Sassy. We're not going to change your name, Sassy. But yeah, Bucket, sure. Obviously, your girlfriend is just crazy, hysterical. It's a very well-known issue with the lady folk that they get hysterical over nothing sometimes. You've seen this in all the popular, movies of the time, like Airplane. You just get that one woman who's constantly screaming, and you have to have an entire line of people that are willing to smack her back to reality. Some with brass knuckles, including nuns and gangsters and all types of doctors and shit. So that's basically what it is. Typical female hysteria. It comes with the territory. Just stick with it. And you'll bring her back around. She'll thank you in the end. They always do. Women always stick with the guys who ground them back to reality. It's a scientifically proven fact. JP says, Bird of Prey, wondering if there was a similar program in the U.S. JP says the Red Seal program, formerly known as the Interprovincial Standards Red Seal program, is a program that sets common standards to assess the skills of tradespeople across Canada. We have ABET, ABET. We have ABET accreditation. And yes, I am an ABET accredited electrical engineer. Our colleges were ABET accredited. So, let's see. Sorry, I kind of lost the screen there for a moment. So ABET accredited, yes. Okay. Dear Bob, I was recently messaged by one of those fake Facebook accounts. I blocked them right away. They asked where I was from, and I was very tempted to start telling them about Karoga and how great it is here. Did I do the right thing? I don't know if I could have convinced them to move to Karoga or anything. Thanks, Bob. Loyal Kroger number 15. If it's a fake account, you did the right thing. You don't want to interact with fake accounts at all. I know some people like to, if you get a phone call from a scammer, they're a real life scammer, and anything you can do to slow them down is good. So if you get a scammer calls you and says, hi, my name is, in a very heavy accent, my name is David and I work for Microsoft, and your computer has a virus and I need you to log in to your computer, then absolutely tell them, oh yes, thank you for calling. I'll be right back, and just say, I just need to get to my computer. And then you put them on hold, and then you never get back to them. You can do that. That legit wastes their time. I don't understand why Warzone is trying to start. Okay. Go away, Warzone, please. Don't want to play with you right now. So yeah, you totally want to do that if they're live on the phone. But if they are electronic by email, they're not real. They're just a bot. So don't waste your time. If you waste even a minute of your time with them, they win. Just delete it immediately. If you can, report it to Facebook as spam, but that's it. That's the only thing you need to do. Don't attempt to start a fake conversation with a bot. There's no winners in that scenario. JP's is sorry for the derail. Oh, it's not a derail, JP's. Kronos is bird of prey. I'm a troller. Does that count? Do you troll the Down East Alexa? I don't know. Shit. Cancel Alexa. Dear Bob, chili and cereal are both types of soup. Thanks. The soupy tracker. Chili, maybe. I would say soup, no. Cereal, I would say no. Now, hot cereal, maybe. But cold cereal, no. Dear Bob, I was less than thrilled by your response to my bop note last week. Why are you capping on me when it's clear you like our show, Lower Decks? I bent over backwards to try to be your friend, but you said you were not happy about what I did with my character in The Boys, and you were fearful on what I would do with Yugi Campbell in season 3. Well, don't despair, my easily freaked out friend, as I think you will like the character and the show when it comes out. And I think you will enjoy the remaining episodes of Lower Decks show, as we have turned the corner on blending in woke culture. If you are still have a problem with me, I'll be sending my dad, Dennis, over to talk with you. And I will also be removing you from my mom's Twitter connections, as I know you follow her. Who's your mom? I bet you popped a chubby when you saw her in Sleepless in Seattle. I've never seen Sleepless in Seattle. Anyway, I digress. A skill you are very good at. Please send me an apology note, and I might just give you insights on the upcoming Lower Decks episodes. Insights that I don't give those other losers like Salty Trekker, Lore, Doomcock, or Jerk Roddick. Sincerely, Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid, that's not very nice things to say. And I wouldn't want your insights anyway. I don't shill for you, Jack Quaid. I only shill for people who pay in cash up front, like CBS. JP says chili is not a soup. I'm just saying I could be convinced that chili is a soup. I cannot be convinced cereal is. Dear Bop, my name is Haruto. I live in Japan and work at Fukushima plant. I want to know what you think about a problem I have. My ochinko, or penis as you call it in English, has grown to a very huge size, probably from the radiation at our work. Girlfriend now calls me Godzilla Dong Boy. I don't like that too much. I have just wondered, as you have big American... Jesus Christ. How do I live like this? Should I have surgery to reduce the size? Please help me. Harito Yamamoto. Yes, my great-great-grandfather was Navy Admiral. Haruto, I suggest you contact the Japanese porn industry. They will take very good care of you. It's a big, big industry in Japan, and I'm sure you probably are 1 in 100 million over there. You can pretty much, you're going to be set. You're going to be like the best, what's that? Those wrestlers. Sumo. You'll be like the top sumo wrestler, except of porn. And they're just going to take good care of you. Today, your ship came in, Haruto. You'll be okay. Oh, great and wise leader, Bop, uranium mine manager here. We might have a big problem. There are reports of Afghanistan refugees hiding in the mines, pretending to be orphan miners. It's really hard for me to tell who are really orphans and which are not. What should I do? Thank you for your wisdom, oh great leader. You know what? The more the merrier. You can let the Afghanis in. If they want to work the mines, we'll teach them how to work the mines. Everybody can use some job on hands-on job experience. We'll take it on ourselves to train the Afghani refugees who wish to work in the mines. It's the least we could do. JP says, Vertebrae, the problem with Japanese porn is that penetration shots are blurred out. Well, that's if they're made in Japan. Dear Bop, okay, this is a serious inquiry. Please do not share with any of those dummies who watch your channel. Well, then you did the wrong way, because Dear Bop is by definition shared with everybody, and Steve Shives, right? I'm doing an analysis of the average age of YouTube channel owners who operate in the science fiction arena, particularly around Star Trek and Star Wars. The best way we can determine, we have landed on the ages of you and many of your peer group. Can you please advise if this is correct or not in our assessment? Birdo Prey 5 equals 36 years old. No, I am 42 years old. Salty Tracker equals 64 years old. A crusty old YouTuber. Okay, we're getting the delivery. I will. Okay, camera is off. So Salty Tracker, 64 years old. I can't confirm or deny Anti-Tracker's age. It seems a little low to me. Lore Reloaded equals 12 years old. Well studied on the subject for being so young. I can definitely say Lore is much older than 12 years old, as he has kids that are half that age. So I'd say Lore is at least 24 years old. That Star Wars girl, 45 years old, but still kind of cute. Honestly, I have no idea how old that Star Wars girl is. Anna. Captain Track equals 29 years old, but just finished high school. I believe the good captain, is a bit older. Captain Foley of Trek Yards equals 70 years old and very knowledgeable. I think he's, that's probably a little high. I don't think he's as old as Anti-Tracker. Victor von Doomcock, 99 years old, but immortality makes it hard to judge his age. See, Victor von Doomcock, I've heard differing reports on his age, even from him. So sometimes he's well over 100 years old, and sometimes he's not nearly that old. Gary at Nerdrotic, 69 years old, lived a hard life of selling comic books. I believe he's in his 50s, and he lived a hard life of doing drugs, being in prison, and selling comic books. Deej Odyssey, 16 years old, but acts and sounds more mature. That's spot on. Jedi Bill, 17 years old, a fun kid. I believe Jedi Bill is in fact 21, because I've seen him drink. Gary at Rock Solid, nearing retirement age. I don't think so. Gary is looking pretty good these days. Thankfully, he has gotten more movement back to his face. I'd say Gary hardly looks a day over 50. LDG, 78 years old, but looks surprisingly good for his age when he uses fake video enhancements. I agree. I don't think we've ever seen the real LDG. I think what we think is the real LDG is just a video enhancement that he's always used.
Then you can just guess it.
Life with Matthews equals 18 years old, just went through puberty and waiting for his voice to change. That is quite possible. Yvette DeVoyle equals 24 years old and hot as hell. Actually, I believe Yvette is quite a bit older. Again, from Facebook. Thomas Potts equals 33 years old, but seems to be a grandfather type to keep the others in line. You know, I don't think he could be 33, because if that was, he would have to have collected like, I don't know, 100 starships a year for the last 10 years. So he's got to be older than that. Chronos, 27 years old, but just out of diapers. I'm not sure he is out of diapers. Thus, the average age of a nerdy YouTuber is 42.3 years old. Thank you for your input. It's been very helpful, Steve Shives. You're welcome, Steve. And one day we will get you back from outer space. Not me, mind you, because I particularly don't give a shit where you are. But somebody, somewhere, will probably get you. Let's see. So Darth Maul is saying Anna's in her mid-30s. That's very possible. Honestly, I don't have a face to go with the name. I've seen her channel. I've watched it on rare occasion, but I don't remember exactly who she is. And I wouldn't be able to pick her up out of a lineup. I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a lineup. Because I'm not a Star Wars person, so I don't generally watch her channel. Dear Bob, can I make a suggestion? There should be a rule: no pretending to be other viewers. It's not right to call yourself one loyal viewers that are here every week, and it's not polite to each other. It's fine to poke fun at other things, but we should be friends to each other. Does that sound good to you? This is not Captain Trek. I know it's not Captain Trek. He told me he didn't write any today. Listen, I would like it, but there is no way to enforce it. That said, I would much prefer that we're all adults and we not get angry if somebody pretends to be us. Okay, it's going to happen. People pretend to be me. People pretended to be Mamo Prey. We generally know that if you sign a name, it is almost always a fake name. Almost no one signs their real name to Dear Bob. So please, the real answer is not to get angry if somebody references you in Dear Bob. Yeah, I would love to say we should all refrain from using fake names or using somebody else's real name as a Dear Bob, but as there's no way to enforce it, the next best thing is to just not get angry when it happens. And Dear Bob again says, hi, Bob. Dear Bob, I am writing to you in desperation. I have no regular income, weekly or monthly. I recently married my second husband. He has 3 adult children from his first marriage and 2 from his second, one of whom is intellectually disabled and lives with us, even though her mother has officially has co-custody. Spam. She and her sister will inherit a large sum of his life insurance when he passes, and I know nothing about what the children from the first marriage are willed. I know nothing about his finances or his will. I asked to be listed on his bank account and he refused. I asked for a credit card and he gave me one with $1,000 spending limit. He gives me a little money when he feels like it, 100 or so, and no more than 200. We bought a house that he calls ours and let me pick out before we were married. He promised as soon as we married, he'd put my name on the deed and said he would change his will, but 4 months later, nothing has been done. I don't want to be in a battle with his kids if he passes first. I'm 57 and he's 80. And according to the laws of nature, he will most likely go first. I love him dearly, but the fact is he is not keeping up his promises. He is really making me question if he truly cares for me and knows how worried I am about these matters. Can you tell me how to handle this and what my legal options should be concerning our finances? New wife. 57-year-old marrying an 80-year-old, and you're truly in love with him. Well, I'll be honest, it's not sounding like he's intending to keep up his side of the bargain. And yeah, he has a lot less time left on this planet than you do. Statistically speaking, I would seriously tell him that if you don't get what you were promised, if you don't get a change in the will, if you don't get the house put into your name, you're done. You're out. And don't give them a month. You give them 24 hours, 48 hours, a week tops. Because you don't need a month to make that type of change. Let him start on Monday. Let him call and make those changes and have those papers signed by end of the week. But the thing is, if he doesn't do it, you've got to be ready to call the bluff, and you got to be willing to get the divorce and walk away, because I don't know what your financial situation is that you can live on your own. Hopefully you can find some way to live on your own with no weekly or monthly income. Otherwise, it seems like you have no real choice here. Now, if that's the case, if he knows you have no choice and he's doing you the favor of just keeping you fed and that you have no other way of doing things, then he does have the power here. But with any luck, with some work, you can, via friends or family, have some way of getting out from this situation. I wish you luck. Carlos says, love is beyond material goods. I agree it is, but it's also, you've got to deal with the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is they need to get that sorted. Dear Bob, my husband and I disagree about our arrangements after we pass away. I would like to be cremated and scattered at a location with wonderful memories, like where we honeymoon. He wants a full funeral and to be buried in our hometown, 2.5 hours away from where we've been living for almost 20 years. I don't have a lot of love for our hometown and am estranged from my family. When I asked why he'd want to be buried there, he joked that his kids won't come to visit him wherever he is, so at least his high school buddies can come to the cemetery and drink a beer and toast him. I don't want to waver from being cremated. I feel the land is for the living, but I also worry that it would be regarded as odd not to be in the same plot. Now I joke that I hope I die first because I don't want to have to honor his wishes. It's not a joking matter, though, and I'd appreciate advice about our disagreement. Still alive in Caroga. Well, there's no law saying you guys both have to be, in the same, buried in the same place. I would suggest you guys talk to each other and agree to carry out the other's wishes. Now, what you could do, as you're the one who wishes to be cremated, is have, 90% of your ashes spread out in a field or wherever you have your happy memories, and save a small amount of your ashes to be buried with your husband. Should you die first, they can, put the ashes in a small urn, and somebody can put it into, I assume, somebody can put it in with him when they bury him. And if he dies first, well, then you can just have somebody spread the little bit of your ashes. And I know it might not be technically legal, but I also know that it happens. Somebody can spread a little bit of your ashes over his grave, so that you have part of you with him. So that just seems the best. I don't think you're going to change his mind, and clearly he's not going to change your mind. Assuming you guys have the money to do a full burial, which I know is quite expensive, or it's prepaid or whatever, assuming it's not a money issue, that would just be the best. You both do what you want to do, and you have a little bit of your ashes kept with him. Basically, the best of both worlds. Now, if money's an issue and he dies first, and you can just tell him outright, say, listen, if you die first, you're being cremated. So you give him all that much more incentive to stay alive. You could do that too. Just be honest with him. Don't lie. Don't lie to him. Be honest. Dear Bob, someone from California sent me racy photos of Kamala Harris. She is presented in those photos in different levels of undress and in some compromising photos with barnyard animals. Sure, the pictures are fun to look at, but I'm very worried the Secret Service agents may become knocking at my door to retrieve these photos and maybe make me disappear. Would you be all right sending these photos to you and getting them off my computer? Or better yet, I can just send you my entire laptop for safekeeping. Is that all right, Hunter? Yeah, Hunter. Just contact me at birdofprey5@rapemail.com, and I'll get you an address. You can send me your laptop, and I'll keep it safe. Kronos' money is losing its strength. Well, gold then. Actors is Bird of Prey. That Dear Bob Google says it was posted at a site called Dear Abby. Son of a bitch, people. I don't want to hear Dear Abby's. I don't want Dear Abby's sloppy seconds, people. Dear Bob, my father abandoned me when I was a baby, although I am curious if I answered the same way she did. My father abandoned me when I was a baby. Do I have to check all these now? If these are all from fucking Dear Abby. Okay. My father abandoned me when I was a baby, and he and my mother divorced. He never paid any child support. All I ever knew of him was his name. When I turned 30 and had a 6-year-old son, I decided I needed to find him. With only his name and remembering that my mother had mentioned he may be living in Oklahoma, I called information and got 3 numbers for him. The first number I called was him. We talked, and he visited me and his grandson. That was the only time he came to see us. I later had a daughter, and my kids have traveled to see him many times. My father and I had a real relationship. He called and sent birthday and Christmas cards. My dad told me that he never remarried because he knew one day I would find him and he would be ready. He moved his girlfriend into his home, and he has given her access to all of his banking. My dad got pretty sick in 2019. He lives in Louisiana, and I live in Texas. For years, I've tried to get him to move closer to me and my kids, but Louisiana is his birthplace and home. My dad never remarried, but had a girlfriend whom I had never met until he got really sick. He moved his girlfriend into his home and has given her access to all his banking. He has taken me off all his bank accounts, and recently I found out that he has disinherited me and made her his beneficiary. My father has abandoned me twice in my life. His girlfriend does not let me know when he is sick or when he is in the hospital, nothing. She blocked me from his Facebook, and for some reason I am no longer my dad's friend. What would you do? How can a parent treat their child that way? Heartbroken. Well, obviously that's not the work of your dad. That's the work of his girlfriend. He may or may not even be aware any of this is happening. I would say it's time for an in-person trip to go and see what the hell's going on. You may want to call the local police ahead of time to let them know that you're fearing for your dad's safety and you would like an officer to be there with you to do a wellness check on your dad. And if he tells you to leave and not come back, you know, you'll do it, but you need to hear that from your dad. Because if right now you are not, you know, there's no reason to trust that this is your dad's thoughts and not somebody intervening and trying to get between you two. She got into her position by getting into positions. I hear that, Kronos. Dear Bob, a year ago I was working at a small wholesale bakery with 15 employees. While I was there, the place was overrun with food safety issues, including mice, allergens, cross-contact issues, poor employee hygiene practices. At the time, the owner was working on fixing some of the problems, but not fast enough for my taste. Although he was never my favorite person, he was clearly overwhelmed with running a business and didn't have resources to fix the problems. Advertisement? No, you see, somebody just fucking copied this from a goddamn web page and pasted it in. They didn't even fucking look and see that says advertisement, and they didn't erase it. People, Dear Bop is not for you to fucking copy and paste in questions from other websites. I'm sorry, but this is all bullshit. Okay, I'm not answering this. These have all probably been copy and pasted. Dear Bob, now that my YouTube channel is monetized, I can finally afford to buy a new car. Damn, I wish someone would have told me earlier how lucrative it is to get on YouTube and spout a bunch of useless crap. But anyway, back to my point. I'm considering the 2022 Grand Wagoneer, do you approve? What color? Fuck yeah. A Grand Wagoneer? That's the most Jeep of any Jeep. I like it. Granted, I don't like new cars, but the Grand Wagoneer, fuck yeah. Oh God, don't do it in white. Don't do it in white. No, fuck. Watch out, Cape Cod. Your new luxury SUV is here. Who the fuck? Why would you bring up Cape Cod in a fucking Jeep? Oh my God, it hurts my brain. Fuck you, Cape Cod. This should be fucking in the woods. And it shouldn't be white. Oh my God. This needs to be black or wood colored. Where's the fucking wood? They need to have the wood version. There, look at that. Look at that. That's a fucking fancy inside. Oh my God. Fuck. I missed. God damn it, the Grand Wagoneer. 15 fucking years too late. I would have killed for the fucking Grand Wagoneer to come out in 2008. So I didn't have to get a fucking Infiniti QS56. But Jesus fucking Christ, it's beautiful. You know what? Even though I haven't driven it, the Grand Wagoneer, good luck. Good luck. Dr. Scotty says, Dear Bob is only for real problems or real interesting things, not boring shit copied from some webpage. JP says, Bird of Prey, British Racing Green for the Jeep. It'd be better than white. It'd be better than white. Hi, Bob. Fuck, even the hi Bobs are better. Dear Bob, you may think you look weird, but you'll never... No. Bad, soft buddy. Dear Bob, hi Bird, I'm reaching out to you as I haven't heard from you in a long time. I want to be sure everything is okay, as you used to write me a nice note every single week. Since you haven't written in so long, I'll answer some of those questions that I had initially refused previously from you. I wear a size 32D, and I've been known to play for both teams. I shave my legs and pits, but nothing else, if you get my meaning. So that is enough about me. Will you be sending those pictures of your junk that you've been teasing about for months? I will wait for those, Pookie. So if you want to know what's been doing, here's what has been up lately. I am currently filming The Marvels as Captain Marvel, and also getting ready to begin filming for a TV show called Lessons in Chemistry. Please watch for it to come out, as I'm sure you will approve. Lessons in Chemistry is a humorous and upbeat story about a female scientist in the 60s who finds herself single, pregnant, and fired from her lab. She ends up taking a job as hosting a home cooking show while raising her young daughter. Through her show, she encourages women to challenge the status quo, so you will absolutely go bonkers over it. Anyway, big guy, please send those photos, and I will return the favor. Love, Brie Larson. Brie, that it was so nice of you to write me back. And I really didn't think anybody wanted pictures of my junk. But I will send Mama Prey downstairs, and she can take pictures of all the junk laying over the basement and the garage. And I'll send it to you. You'll get it in a couple days. Good luck with those things. I believe Anti-Tracker is a bigger fan of you than I am. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you're ugly by any means. but Anti-Tracker really enjoys your movies to the point that he's going to be watching it tonight on his stream. So, you might want to, excuse me, Salty Tracker. So you might want to consider paying him a visit. Kronos says, I can't type like that on Anti-Tracker, Salty Tracker streams. He is too for the thin skin. Are you thin skinned? I'm not thin skinned, Kronos, except right here where I apparently cut through to the blood vessel. Dear Bob, hi, Bird. Just trying to find out from you why you have not included me in any of your panels lately. I thought we had something special when I was on with you a few weeks ago. We discussed eating raw meat. Yes, I've been in the hospital as I did suffer some complications of eating something bad, but almost back and available to go on with you and your channel mates. As long as you don't get that bitch on again, I would be happy to rejoin you and discuss something of importance. So how about getting me on the panel this weekend after your movie on Saturday? It would be nice to talk with you again. Besides, I have some raw bologna I want to tell you all about. Thank you, Callie. Yeah, Callie. I don't think you're going to be on anymore. Dear Bob, I have a serious problem. I'm being sent to HR Monday morning because of misunderstanding. I've been playing D&D for weeks with some coworkers. So essentially it came out that I am now playing with my coworker, Jenner Tulls, Huge G. Wrexham, Harry P. Ness, and Tess Tickle. What should I do? Thank you, Justin Casey Fletcher Snatch. You should all immediately change your names to Mike Hunt or Micah Hunt. Then it'd be much easier to remember all your names. Dear Bob, today is National Latina Day. Can you share a story about the Latinas you've had in your life? Well, as you know, Maria, who's an 18-year-old lesbian, undocumented dreamer, is in fact identified as a Latina herself. That said, the Latinas I've had in my life were generally wonderful people. But I'm afraid I really can't share much. Kinda on a gag order on that. Dear Bob, are you familiar with Linux? Do you have any preference on which version of Linux to use? I'm familiar enough. I've used Ubuntu and some others. Honestly, I don't care. I can get around it. I can do the command lines for the stuff I need to do. Obviously, the graphical interface to replace Windows on like a cheap desktop, Linux has made incredible strides. I don't see myself leaving Windows anytime soon, but I could do it. I mean, I think we're getting closer and closer to the point where we're going to say, fuck you, Windows, and go to Linux. I don't think it's yet, but it may well come under Windows 11. It may well come with Windows 11. I guess Ubuntu would be my Linux of choice, but it's marginal. I mean, anytime I want to spin up a Linux, I just like basically Google like what's the best Linux build at the moment and try and find a Linux build that fits everything on like a 2 or 4 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte SD card and has all the apps I need and just go from there. Dear Bob, please help. I seem to have misplaced my collector's edition fortification helmet. I last remember using it with Dr. Bashir. Help me, you're my only hope, Esri Dax. Esri, I don't think you put on the helmet. So probably Dr. Bashir still has it. Dear Bob, hey honey, a funny case that happened with my colleague reminded me of the incident that happened in our lives 3 years ago. I had advertised for a well-educated maid in the paper because getting such maids in my area wasn't possible, while my lawyer neighbor had advertised in the same paper for an assistant lawyer, but our bungalow numbers had been mistakenly printed in each other's ads. So you, being a freshly graduated lawyer, came to my house and, oh shit. There we go. Came to my house, and I, being struck by love at first sight, thought you were a maid and instantly hired you, while my lawyer neighbor hired the maid as his assistant. My colleague also had a change of bungalow numbers, and the wrong party came to visit him. He too is head over heels in love with that girl, now as I was in love with you at first glance. Your black long hair, formal outfit, intelligence, personality, and beauty bowled me over. I felt it kneeling down and proposing there and then itself, and then it struck me that you came for the job of a maid. But when I came to know that you were a lawyer and didn't know house chores, I played a prank of becoming a lawyer myself. I'm glad about the goof up. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been in my life. Thank you for being there. Love you. I don't understand the question. So you're just reminding us of something that happened. Okay, maybe I'm missing something here. But thank you. Dear Bob, a company with an open door policy has a weird bathroom scene. No thanks. Closed door is much better. Don't you agree? Like LWM. Yes. Okay. It's an open door policy for executives in their offices. It's not an open door policy for everybody. Hell, God knows I kept my office door closed when I didn't want to hear any bullshit from anyone. Dear Bob, what do you think about the famous AI trolley problem? I think it's a false choice. If you're in the road and you assume the risk, or if you're on the sidewalk you did not, the AI should not deviate. Regards, Elon M. The AI trolley problem? I mean, I heard of the AI debating who to kill, who to hit, but I've not heard about a trolley. The trolley dilemma in AI. There's this principle in ethics that forces us to be careful about the consequences. The situation goes like this. You see a runaway trolley moving toward a 5 tied up or otherwise unaware of the trolley. Workers on the tracks. You are standing next to a lever that controls the switch. If you pull the lever, the trolley will be redirected onto a side track, and the 5 people on the main track will be saved. However, on the sidetrack, there is a single person just as oblivious as the other workers. The ethical dilemma that arises is, should you pull the lever leading to one death but saving 5, or should you do nothing and allow the trolley to kill the 5 people on the main track? You should not pull the lever. You should, however, yell at the 5 people to get off the fucking track. The people who are on the track, on the main track where the trolley was supposed to be, they fucked up. You shouldn't kill an innocent person who didn't fuck up just to save 5 people who did. I don't find that a dilemma at all. I would do what I could to save those 5 people, but not at the expense of the actual innocent party. Kronos says, pull the lever. No, not going to pull the lever. Not going to pull the lever. Anyway, you should step in front of the trolley. I might. I might. If I thought I could slow it down, I honestly might. I have done stupid shit before, like jump on Jeeps and things to try and, stop things from happening. But whatever. Anyway, I think we've had enough for today. I feel like I've been talking. Oh shit! It has been 3 hours and 11 minutes, or 5 minutes. Well over 3 hours. 3 hours 8 minutes. More or less constant talking, except for Mama Prey. Kronos says, I always fucks up, Bird of Prey. What's your issue? I'm not effing up. This is just the way I see things. Anyway. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for, hearing me reminisce. And I didn't even reminisce as much as I intended to. There's more. We'll do it another day. I got a lot more to say about some of the things I used to do at work that would just blow you away. I was one time the CEO. Oh, John Araki with the $1 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. And Kronos says, wow, Bird has stamina. Well, it's the oxygen. It's the extra oxygen, Kronos. And Antiderivative Jill says, I've seen the Rose episodes and working on Martha now. So far, I like Who. It's fun combination between pseudoscience fiction mixed with sci fantasy, horror, humor, and more. It's fun and inspiring. Very cool, Antiderivative Jill. I never got into Doctor Who. I'll tell you about work another time. There were so many characters, so many great stories to be told. We all wondered who would be the first to cash in and make a movie or something out of it. So far, nobody has. One guy who was one of the latest people there wrote a book. It was a pretty decent book, but being he was only there a couple of years before Mr. Frank died, he barely had enough to touch the surface. And then, disappointingly, he lied about quite a bit of things. He just made shit up to make the book more interesting. Which, I guess is what happens. It is entertainment, but disappointing. LDG, Bert, are you coming over after? Yeah, I'll head over, LDG. I'm going to eat a little something and I'll head over. Heading over to the back room. See anybody who's interested back there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to go to bed early tonight because I'm still on a sleep deprivation. Qapla all, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow, 3 p.m., Cinema Saturday, movie is going to be... But wait, there's more. The video might be over, but there's more fun to be had. First, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have clicked that bell icon to get notifications of new videos in your YouTube feed. Share this video on social media to help this channel fight the algorithm that favors big media. Also check out www.bertopray5.com for links to my other channels, various social media accounts, merch store, Dear Bop, affiliate links, and all your Berto Pray 5 needs. At the main Berto Pray 5 YouTube channel, you can find all sorts of live streams and unlisted videos, YouTube membership options, and a community section with polls and updates on the channel. On the secondary channel, Berto Pray 5X, you can find overflow content that doesn't always make the main channel. Subscribe to both channels, please. Thanks for watching. Remember, I stream almost every day. This is Berto Pray 5 saying goodbye, world. Until next time. P.S. Hail Sassy, hail Charlie, and of course, hail Karoga.